and let you guys know what's going on this week. So let's get started with, I think, the freebies. We're gonna pay some bills, promoting some freebies. So the more money you spend with Adafruit, the more free stuff you're gonna get. So let me run through some of these freebie goodies. For $99 or more, if you order $99 or more worth of stuff, you get a free half-size Perma Proto breadboard. For orders that are $149, you get the half-size Perma Proto plus a randomly selected Stemma QT breakout. If you have an account with Adafruit, well, make sure you don't get the same one twice. That's really nice. For orders that are $200 or more, you'll get the randomly selected Stemma QT breakout, the half-size Perma Proto, and free ground shipping for continental US. And for orders that are $299 more, you'll get the free ground shipping, the randomly selected Stemma QT board, the Perma Proto half-size breadboard, and this week's Spotlight product, you'll get a free Circuit Playground Express with orders for $299 or more. So that's awesome. Circuit Playground Express is one of the flagship products at Adafruit. It's packed with lots of goodies like NeoPixels, accelerometers, buttons, buzzers, switches, PDM microphones, Flash, 2 megabytes of Flash. He's got everything. It runs CircuitPython, Arduino, TinyGo, and like 100 other different programs. You can even do JavaScript too. Why not? You know, throw it all in there. So check those out at adafruit.com/free. These items get added to your cart automatically. And if you don't have an account, please make an account. It's free to do so. And that is your freebies. And I have now paid the bills. We got other We already got other awesome things. It is the Halloween season. It is September 1st. Happy September 1st, everybody. Halloween Hackfest is a sponsored contest that Adafruit is partnering with DigiKey and Hackaday.io. So check this out. We got a blog post on blog.adafruit.com. Let me pull up the website. I want to see if there's some new entries. Give me a moment while I queue up the website because I didn't queue it up. So let me see. Where would I even find it? Come on, guys, help me out here. Contests, here we go. I got it. See, I found it. I know what I'm doing. There we go. So I went to Hackaday.io, and there's a button over here that says contests. They got other contests going on, but the Halloween Hackfest, the Halloween Hackfest is the one we're sponsoring. So the deal is you create a project. It can already be a project you've made before, and you create it through Adafruit.io's website. And then you can submit it with a little button. And there's a whole breakdown here in the text that I've highlighted. And there's some example projects here, and there's some submissions. There's 7 new submissions. It's relatively early. Last week, I was looking at the animatronic child, the Grogu from The Mandalorian. This week, I'm seeing some cool stuff from Chernobyl, the HBO original series Chernobyl. I gotta start watching that because I've heard it's really, really good. So. All is awesome. Check them out. It's free to enter. And if you use Adafruit gear, you don't have to, but if you do, your prize doubles. So that's awesome. So check it out, Hackaday.io. Click on the contests and take a look at some of the entries for inspiration. And we hope that you are get inspired to make some fun Halloween stuff this year. So that is the Hackfest. All right, moving on. Help Wanted. There are some new jobs. Actually, there's some ones from last week, so let's take a look at them real quick. If you don't know, Adafruit has a jobs board. Go to jobs.adafruit.com. You can see all the open positions that are around the makersphere. So you can take a look here. There's an open hardware summit chair. There's an exhibit maintenance technician, supply chain specialist, and there's still an opening for DigiKey, for a influencer and content creator rock star. So if that's you, check it out. There's some full-time positions, remote positions, and contract positions. You can create a job if you're an employer, or you can post up your maker skills as a, what would you call it?
As a maker.
As a maker for hire. Thanks. So check those out. That's the jobs board at jobs.adafruit.com. Cool. Every day there's a newsletter from the team, the CS team here at Adafruit. They do daily emails. If you would like to subscribe to the various categories, go to adafruitdaily.com. Awesome categories such as CircuitPython on hardware, IoT monthly, 3D printing, biohacking, maker business, and lots more. So check that out, adafruitdaily.com. It's a standalone website. because we promise never to spam folks, and we never automatically subscribe folks to it. So you got to do it manually. Once a week, we have a newsletter called the New Newsletter. It goes with Lamar's jingle that she does every week, and you can get notified through your inbox on all the new products that are added weekly to the store, which is amazing. What an amazing feat. New products every week. That's crazy. Well, we're crazy. And that is the New Newsletter. Every Monday is the CircuitPython meeting. It happens live in the Discord chat room. You can tune in live or listen at the archive on any of your favorite podcasting services. This is where the community, the CircuitPython community, and the core devs come together, talk about what they're working on and what they want to work on. It's a great opportunity for folks to listen into the inner workings of Blinka, and is she a delicious cake or not? This is a cake, and she has been eaten.
They have cake every single week.
On the meeting. Next week it won't be Monday because here in the States there is a bit of a Labor Day holiday. And that will be on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So check it out tomorrow. Next week, Tuesday. What else do we have?
I believe that's it.
You believe that's it? All right, well that's this housekeeping. And let me check back in and follow up with some shout outs. I want to shout out Alvaro, who's hanging out in Costa Rica. Fetty2 is his handle. We got Richard from the UK working on some Tinkercad stuff. That's awesome. And then Pedro is posting up links. So any other chat rooms?
Yeah, over on the YouTube chat, we got Jack Bruton, who is working on an Iron Man arc reactor today while watching.
That's great.
Awesome. Can't wait to see. Definitely come on the show and tell.
Yes, we invite you to show and tell. It's tonight at 7:30. We're not hosting this week, but maybe we'll host it next week.
And then some big ups from Vince on the Star Trek badge.
Oh yeah, we got some more Star Trek coming up. Can't wait for that. All right, are we ready to jump into this week's project?
Yeah, this week's project is another Suicide Squad project. Phil really wanted this cool prop that is used by the Ratcatcher. So this is the Ratcatcher Communicator.
Yeah, we can command and manipulate swarms of rats, which is always a great superpower when intergalactic beasts that are shaped like starfish come and want to take over the world. But we got a fancy communicator device that can control these rats.
Yeah, so the hard part about this is literally trying to get the reference shots because it's like in 3 scenes in the entire movie.
That's really the hardest part.
Yeah, and then you can't see any of the details because the Ratcatcher is always holding it in her hand, so it's kind of hard to see any of the details.
It's dark and kind of gloomy.
Yeah, there's like right at the end, I think is the best shot that you could see, but it's like covered in dirt, so like everything is obfuscated. Oh, yeah.
So it's completely 3D printed. It is using the Circuit Playground Express to do the light up stuff. And it's got all these little greeblies and knobs and things that are a bit of a fun detail. But the battery is actually hidden inside the handle, which is always a great spot to hide your battery. And this uses the cylindrical battery, those blue kind of batteries, the 2200 milliamp batteries. Those fit nicely here. They're rechargeable as well. And one of the cool things I like about the prop in the movie, you can actually see some of the wires and stuff. And that's why the wire is stinking out there. It actually is a functional thing. The wiring is a part of the prop, and it's a part of the actual real electronics. So if you want to turn this off, you could wire up a slide switch if you want, but we think it's fine that you can take this out. And because it's rechargeable, we had to have a little rechargeable Lipo backpack. I think that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. And this lets you recharge your battery over micro USB. So if you wanted to charge this up, I got a little cable here for you. So go ahead and charge up our battery. And this is how you want to do these type of projects. If you don't want to have an integrated Lipo thing, you can always charge it this way. A lot of our cosplay props are charged this way. So you can integrate it into your circuit, that's fine, but you can always have it be minimalistic and then charge it after the fact. And because the wiring is exposed, it's easy enough to just have it that way, yeah.
Which is really cool because we didn't have to hide it. We didn't have to have any sort of design consideration for that. except having it be exposed, which is pretty nice when designing everything.
This is great. Normally when you're making a prop, you have to embed everything. You have to do tricks and everything to route cables, and routing and soldering while you're fitting and threading your wires is a pain in the neck. So this project, because of the way it actually is in the movie, it really made it simple. The circuit playground is embedded inside this dome, and we didn't have to break any of the USB out, or it's just using a JST extension cable that plugs into. You're probably going to take it apart and all that stuff, so you can really showcase like how you want to make your props modular so that they can be serviced and so that it's easy to kind of reprogram it. At some point, we're going to have over-the-air programming, maybe next week, but as of now, look how screws, right? Like I kind of make a joke in the video about how many screws, but it really is a nice technique to use in your props, is use as many screws as you can so that it's nothing is glued. Is that right? Like,
yeah.
Nothing's really glued here. Look at this clever way that Pedro mounted the CPX. Go ahead and turn it off so we can take a look at how you have managed to like embed this thing inside of two domes, and somehow like it still is able to diffuse the entire globe, the entire dome rather, without like too much trickery. So this is some PLA material that we really recommend. It's kind of the natural PLA color, I suppose, like a translucent PLA. It doesn't really, at least for this effect, we want it to have this kind of white color, so that's why we have this translucent natural PLA. Yeah,
we tried the clear or translucent, and it has more of like a crystal look to it. It doesn't diffuse the entire dome.
It gives you some weird hot spots too, so
that's
this
exactly
evenly diffuses it. So whenever you're doing something that kind of wants to stay white, I think if you change the color, this will it'll soak in the color, if that makes sense. Like it'll adapt to that color. So we really recommend the natural clear PLA is normally what it's called. But if you're just doing regular white PLA, sometimes the pigment it tends to be warmer or more blue. And this stuff, as you can see, you can almost see through it. You can see like the thing through there. So you can see it's not really quite like a full white PLA. Yeah.
That's why it's called natural, I think.
Natural,
so
yeah.
that's the key word you want to look for. Natural white.
Clear, yeah.
Not clear. Clear will be like the translucent, which will have the hot spots.
Transparent. This is translucent.
Or transparent, yeah. Because then it will have those hot spots and it won't illuminate the entire dome.
And if we were to change the code with like a quick color, we could make this completely red, and then that would be really fun. Maybe we'll do that during the live show just to show like how good this material is. But that's my rant. I really wanted to talk about the material because I feel like that's something that a lot of folks might benefit from because it translates to so many different props.
Yes. So, in terms of illuminating all the props that you want to have as wearables
that saturated
and
color, yeah.
Yeah. The other cool thing about this is you do need a bunch of supports, but once you have your supports all dialed in, you can have a very nice, in terms of overhangs, and just how thin these are. I was talking about this last week. This is one of the things I was super happy about. I thought I would have to make this a lot more thicker and more, bigger in terms of not being so thin so that the part could actually come out and not be all brittle. This one's nice and strong, so it has plenty of strength when you're removing the supports on this. And instead of having it be like a dual extrusion print, I wanted to make sure that everybody with a single extruder would be able to print this out. Yeah. And I think it's a lot more easier in terms of having it be two pieces, since you are able to have this be like the thing that holds the entire piece together. And in terms of if it was dual extruded, it would be a little bit more messy, having to switch between all the tool paths for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot more cleaner, I believe, than
sure.
having it be dual extruded.
Yeah. Let's see, what are there some fun?
Yeah, it's a bunch of screws. They're the M25s and the 3mm, or the M3s for the Circuit Playground, and then the M2.5. We do love doing all the snap together and the twisty, but at some point we need it to be a little bit more mechanically strong and have it be removable without if you've made like snap together stuff before, you do get a degradation of the snap part.
It can, depending on the force over time, all that sort of thing. So screws is a great way to just kind of make it This is going to permanently, well, it's a good mix of like it's permanently secured in place, but I can also take it apart.
Yeah.
So really nice. No need for heat inserts or anything like that. It just kind of taps into the plastic real nicely.
Yeah. And then some of the other parts is just having like a nice little mount for that. You could see the way that everything attaches instead of having like.
Cool mount. You got your built-in standoff, so you elevate the PCB. You could solder wires if you wanted to, but it's nice that you don't have to solder anything, especially with the Circuit Playground. All the NeoPixels are built in. And you know, this is one of these things where we wish we could have had more time to work on the code and utilize the accelerometers to do some cool things, but we kind of out of time. And you know what? I think that's going to be for some folks out there that that fancy themselves programmers. They can have fun coming up with some new interactive code for this type of project.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the code once we go into the Learn Guide to see. We're just using the built-in effects for that, using the Pulse animation that Cagney had in there.
Yeah, that's the LED animation library, our favorite library for CircuitPython, one of the easiest ones to use as well. So as Pedro's doing that, I'll go ahead and load up
the Learn Guide.
The Learn Guide. So if you head over to learn.adafruit.com, you can see that the Learn Guide is up under the new section. And let me walk through the kind of home page.
Real quick, love the factory is asking where are the F3D files for the pieces. It is on the 3D printing page on the Learn Guide.
Right, and if you just want the Circuit Playground, we have the Bluefruit version and the Express version in our GitHub repository. Definitely check out the model. We have an STL, a STEP, and the Fusion 360 model of this. And it has all the pre-populated components, so you can make sure that all your clearances are super tight and they have a one-to-one accuracy. So check those out. That is how we make these projects possible.
Yeah, especially with having to fit everything into such a tight little spot, we need to make sure that all of the standoffs and all of the clearances match.
Right, right. And if you are doing something like Tinkercad, you can use those STL files as well. And I'll go ahead and throw this link to our GitHub repository. Here you go. And in the Learn Guide, that's where Pedro has posted up the CAD files. And if not, we'll be sure to do it. I'm not sure if you posted it on Thingiverse and things like that.
Yep, it's all on Thingiverse.
Sweet.
Everything's all linked up there. So you get just the STL files if you just want to print that out, or if you want to adjust the Fusion 360 files. If you jump over to the 3D printing page, you can see the download for that.
We'll get there. We're going to run through it chronologically. So the parts, I'm really happy about the parts here. They're all in stock. Everything. It's only 3 things, but the Circuit Playground has like a bunch of things, so that's why.
And then there's some ancillary things that you can get to, like the LiPo backpack charger.
Oh, right. I forgot about
cables.
That. We got cables that are pink, and they look great, right? Good quality cables. But yeah, it's just a Circuit Playground and a battery and the extension cable. It's nice that the extension cable, you can use it as is. You don't need to splice it or shorten it or anything. And these batteries are in stock. They're really great batteries for these type of props with a handle, or even if it's something else. They're great batteries because they're not those soft LiPo pockets that can burst. Yeah. These are strong, you can drop them, but don't drop them, right? Yeah, and cables for days. Oh, and we also sell some a nice M25 kit, which you could use. Yeah. All right, so that's the overview page. All the parts are in stock. Get a Circuit Playground if you don't have one already.
Or it'll come free with a $2.99 or more order.
Like there's a part shortage. How can we do this? Well, supplies last, of course. So that's the overview page. Let's go ahead and jump into the CircuitPython page. This is a mirrored page that normally goes in with all of the boards, but we need people to know that you want to update your Circuit Playground Express with the latest version of CircuitPython, and this page walks you through it. Super easy to do so. You download a file from this link here, and when you download it, you get your board into the bootloader mode. There is a built-in reset button on the Circuit Playground Express. You hit that twice, and then you go into this mode called bootloader. It shows up on your computer as a USB drive. It's called like CPlay boot. And then what you do is that file that you downloaded from this green button, you literally drag and drop it onto that drive, and it auto-magically flashes the new firmware and gets it all ready for CircuitPython. And then it reloads as a CPlay boot, or a CircuitPy drive rather, and that's it, you're done. Then from there you can get the code. One of the latest additions to the Learn system is this project bundle, previously you had to kind of download a library bundle and then pick and choose the libraries that are used in this project. But this button now wraps everything up together, so you do not have to hunt down the libraries. This will not just give you the code, but also any assets like bitmaps or MP3s, audio files, but more importantly, the library files that is necessary to run the code. So you do need libraries. This is Python. There's only 2 libraries here. We got the NeoPixel library and the LED animation library. Everything's commented. It's really, really easy to adjust it. To add more colors, we can add more colors to the import. Right now I'm just importing white, but you could put a comma and add more colors. We have a whole slew of colors that you could play with. Those are listed in the LED animation library, which always is a good reference point if you're new to the library. But from here, we had a lot of built-in things, like you can tell the NeoPixels that I'm using the NeoPixel pin, because that's already tied into the Circuit Playground. And you can play around with the brightness, and then you can change the pulse parameters in there. You can change up the color, the speed, and the period of which it's kind of going over time. And then this, in the while true, you just got your pulse.animate, and it's animating indefinitely. So that's a quick look at the code, super duper simple. Check it out. Again, if you click on that project bundle, it gives you the code and the libraries, and then you just drag and drop all those onto your CircuitPy drive, and you're ready, and your code just runs automatically. And the cool thing is, this isn't tied to an IDE. You can use a text editor if you want. You can open this on any computer that runs, you know, a text editor and that has USB drive support. Like, that's pretty much all the things, right? Like, it works on a Chromebook. It's going to work on a Windows laptop. Sometimes it'll work on a Windows tablet, Android maybe. And we're hoping to have over-the-air Bluetooth connectivity at some point.
Dude.
And then this just gives you a screenshot of like what your drive should look like, your Circuit Playground / Circuit Python drive. This is what it looks like. You get a code file, and your libraries are in that folder called lib. And there you go. Very, very simple. And that's the code, right? Real quick though, let me go to learn and just kind of go, if you want more, just type in LED animation, and then this is the one you want. CircuitPython LED Animations by Kattni. And this walks you through all the various effects and colors, and you can make grids, you can do text yet, but you can do all these rainbows, and you can create your own grid of LEDs, so it gets really advanced, and it gets really simple too. So check that out if you haven't already. This is like my favorite library for CircuitPython. It's probably the most used library for CircuitPython, at least when it comes to cosplay projects. Well, I'm super excited. Now it's time for 3D printing. Pedro, you take over.
As with 3D printing, there's quite a bit of parts for this. You're going to require some supports for a bit of them. So just make sure you have your the settings. I do list down the ones that I have for the Cruelty printers. It should be a little bit universal in terms of what the size is for the supports and the extrusions for them, and then the Z distance of the supports for that. I usually use you can look at the settings there. One of the question that I wanted to cover, somebody on the Discord was asking the design or the Fusion 360 file. Is that button right underneath download STLs?
Yeah, let me walk through this one. I like this. So this edit design button.
So this is for every single one of our projects.
Click on that.
That's where it is. Right underneath that download STL button, you have two different options, and inside of the design, you have a lot more options for the format of the design that you want to do.
I opened a new tab, and this lets you preview the design before you download it. So this is all in the browser. This is all run through Autodesk's website. And then what you want to do, you can look around it. You can even do some fun things like exploding it if you want to see all the pieces. And you can really get a good look at the design before you kind of play with it. There's a lot going on here, right? So what you want to do is up here, there's the download button, and then there's all of these formats. You want the step, you want a SAT, do you want a FBX, STL, SketchUp? Sure, no problem. The Fusion 360 archive is here. It'll ask you for your email, and then it'll send you directly to your email, and that's the way kind of this thing works. But also, you can always just download the STLs if you just need those to print them out from the Thingiverse link. But yeah, this is how to kind of walk through this this browser model editor. And then there's this button here, Open in Fusion 360, if you do have it. I think it'll download it and bring it directly into Fusion 360. But there's a lot of stuff here. This is normally meant for folks that want to review things, so you can mark up, annotate directly on this. If you had like a design change for your client, that's really why Fusion has created that. But it's all done through their website. It's all interactive. And then the STL buttons, I think this is a direct link to Thingiverse.
Yeah, so you can pick out any of the STL files or just download the entire thing as a bundle.
Yeah, you can see here. Yeah, all the STLs are right there. Wonderful. So there you go. That is how to download the files.
And as we were mentioning before, we have all of the support settings here. Some of the most notable ones is lowering the extrusion width for your supports. So it's usually 0.4. Chop that in half to 0.2. It'll make the how thin the supports come out, which will make it a lot more easier to remove, and it won't fuse with your the geometry of the model.
Yeah.
Support density, I always knock that down all the way down to like 4 or 6, depending on how much density you need. You don't need 10 or 20 or whatever the default support density is for that. And then the Z height, 0.21. That's just some trial and error, experimenting how far I could have the supports away from the geometry.
Like the actual model, okay.
Yeah.
It's important to have some sort of Z height here for your supports so that it's
does
not fusing to your model. Interface. Now, I kind of remember what this is.
So it's just it's like a roof or a flooring
layer.
Yeah.
Just want to turn that on.
Yep.
And support roof, I guess it goes hand in hand with the interface.
Yep. Don't need the floor support, so you can leave that off. You don't need to have another additional
I see what you're saying.
bottom part for your supports to sit on top of. Okay. And then the pattern for that, zigzag, and then the support roof pattern, also zigzag.
Yeah, so that's a good pattern. What other patterns are there?
There's
grid or something?
Grid, yeah.
Okay, so
I think that one tends to, depending on the geometry, of course, so you do want to experiment with that. But I found the zigzag to be pretty universal for some of the geometry.
The main things to look at is like the density of your support, how far away is it from your model, and do you have these roofs on or on, and do you have the zigzag pattern?
Yep.
Now this is all done in Cura, which is an open source software.
You can use Prusa Slicer or something else.
Right,
they should have extrusion width.
Some of the terms might be different, but for the most part, they kind of have the same sort of terminology for the other slicers. But that's how Peter's got it. He's got a nice GIF here too, showing like the way the stepping through the layer lines looks like in the slicer. So that's cool. And then these are regular kind of PLA settings, 220 for the extruder, 0.2 layer height, 10% of the gyroid infill, that's our favorite infill pattern. And then, some speed settings here, 60 and 60C temperature on the heated bed. But yeah, that's it.
So,
cool.
And I think that's everything for that part.
Okay.
Yep, all the listing of all the different pieces you'll need there.
Right.
And
Rat wand. Nice code name. Rat wand. Cool. And then the assembly page just really steps through getting all the screws, and you kind of want to follow this chronologically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thread. You have like special holes and stuff at the bottom there for routing your cable. Anything special about this?
No, just follow it step by step, and then just the way that the JST plugs in before you mount the CPX. I think the only thing is just the routing of the wires inside of the collet.
Right. You do a little bit of threading the needle, but no soldering here. That's really nice. Yeah. Because it plugs directly into that connector on the back of the circuit playground.
You are going to need, I didn't count, but it's quite a bit of the M2.5 by 6 millimeter long or 5 millimeter long screws to attach everything. It feels like 20 of them, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of made a joke in the video. I think there's a joke comment too. It's like, do you need screws or something like that? This is a great comment. Yeah, real quick, I had to check. Okay, good. Yep. All right, and then once you get your circuit, does the circuit playground? It could be in any orientation, more or less, as long as it's facing up.
Yeah, there's only two ways to do it.
Right.
So, and the I don't have one here. Yeah, it's either the JST sticking out either this way or the other way, so you can't really get that wrong. It's either on this side or on this side. You can't really.
It's symmetrical in that way. That the mount is symmetrical. So that's how it's working. Cool.
Yeah, and there is, like you were saying, there is an order operation. So you have to mount the CPX mount onto the collet before you mount the circuit playground itself, because then otherwise you don't have access to get into the screws.
That's right.
So that's the only downside of having it be all screws.
It's just the way it has to be.
You just have to do it in that order.
Cool. Good. And you documented well.
Yep, attaching the domes.
Have the dome first.
All the
Lay
sides,
on the
and
other
then one of the things I did not document as well is the way that the access wire sort of wraps around the framing.
Check it. There you go.
So yeah, you'll be left with this access here.
I see.
And I just wrap it around.
Look at that.
On the outside like
I didn't
that.
even notice that. What?
And it just
That's
goes
so
right
clever.
in here. You get that? Yeah.
Get used to that. Yeah, man.
And that's in there like that.
Yeah.
And how funny that they have all the JST wiring all
Exposed,
in the prop.
Yeah. You wouldn't want a rat to bite one of those wires.
And then the only other difficult part was the little greeblies for this. You want to have the screw go through the fake printed or the faux screws, and then have that screw into. Yeah. So then you have that going into there. So screw it into the fake buttons, and then screw that whole thing as one into the handle.
Sweet.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man.
Your faux screws and whatnot.
All right, and the rest of it is the greeblies, like you said. Oh, we forgot to insert that battery.
Yep,
so the
one of the
battery
last things.
goes in with the JST connector facing out. You can still pull it out, right? There's enough.
Yeah,
It's not super tight in there.
No, I made sure of that because I did notice that some of the we have like a bunch of different stock of batteries.
They do, yeah.
One will be like a year from one that we got a year ago. One is more
slight
recent.
tolerance differences
And tolerances do
kill you,
change
so.
between suppliers, so it is like a 0.1, a
Yeah.
little bit thicker. So.
I remember when you were doing the prototype, like you couldn't fit it all the way in. Because like, dang it, this battery died, and I pulled out another one, and so you had to make it just that much bigger.
Yep,
So,
so they would all fit.
You've accommodated the diameter of the handle to fit all of the various.
Yeah, because
sizes,
I think
diameters
the
of
newer supplier is just a little bit thicker, so I had to make it the inside of the handle to accommodate that.
Yeah.
But that's the only change. If we somehow change suppliers again and it's thinner this time, you can go inside of the Fusion file and
Update the
inside of the
diameter.
timeline. Yeah, it is just a push and pull command. So just go inside there and either delete the 0.1, 0.15, where it makes it thicker, or just delete that in the timeline.
Yeah. Or if you're crazy, you could integrate like the contacts and like have real AA batteries in there. Like
That
you
would
could
be
do
awesome.
That too.
Yeah.
That's outside of our time frame, but yeah, that'd be really cool. All right, and that's a Learn Guide in a nutshell. We wanted to cover some of the nitty-gritty details as we like to do because we think those are useful for folks. And let's go ahead and what else? Should we just go to
That's pretty much it.
Go to the thing and read some stuff?
Yeah, the Love the Factory was saying that the direct link was better because it was taking them to the Fusion download page. Oh no.
No.
That link I grabbed is what's what that button is linked to, but yeah, maybe it does do that if you don't have it installed or something. But again, you can grab any format that you want and edit it in your favorite CAD package, even Tinkercad.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's this week's project.
All right, so that's
fun Kailh project.
Yeah, so tons of more stuff you can add to it, like interactivity with the accelerometer. There is a little built-in speaker on there, so you can have some sound effects going. And
that's true.
Yeah, there's still more that you can do in terms of the colors and all that too.
Yeah, another thing I like about our props is like we try to make it with very little finishing, so no sanding, no painting.
Yeah, I mean you could still add all that in there, like you were saying, like I was saying last week. There are like some sort of textures on here that they show in the three scenes that it's in. But it's kind of hard to tell, and you can interpret that any way you want. You do have a layer by layer on adding embosses to cylindrical objects. You can check that out and add it yourself. It kind of looks like a maze. I just ran out of time.
Yeah.
These parts, I didn't list how long they take. It does take quite a while. Yeah, this one takes
5 hours.
Yeah.
5 hours.
I mean, it looks like it's just a cylinder. It's whatever 120 millimeters tall, but yeah, that takes about 4 or 5 hours to print out. You don't want to skimp out trying to print it too fast because then it'll become brittle, and then I did have that happen where I tried to print it too fast and
broke it while we were trying to show it off.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you always want to make sure things are a little bit thicker than they.
Or just take the speed, just knock it down to like 60 or 50.
Right.
And that should yield a very nice, strong, sturdy part.
Cool. Any questions? We'll take them. But
Yeah, you
most
can
of
just
your
post
answers
them
are,
throughout the show.
Yep.
Just a little comment on the Cutie Pie needs a reverse mount LED for ping pong ball size knockoff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of adding like a NeoPixel on the back so the entire thing would illuminate, but all we did was just use the natural PLA instead. And that, on the camera, it kind of illuminates it more.
Mm-hmm.
And in the dark, too, you'll see a lot more illumination
And
from
since
it.
you're holding it sort of this way, it just looks...
Yeah, that's what you're looking at more.
Yeah, even there, it looks pretty fully illuminated.
But you could
Does
definitely...
anyone else feel like this
that.
This is like the motion controller from the PlayStation 3?
It definitely looks like that.
It's like get two of them and start doing your little
right?
exercise
I wonder if that
dance.
would work.
Yeah.
Like if you could trick it in terms for following, if it starts following that instead.
Hello, is this a microphone? Hello? Hello? You've made your Ratcatcher. What are you going to do next?
I'm going to
Disney?
Disney.
All right, so that's this week's project. Awesome work, Pedro. Another great Circuit Playground Express project. And you can easily swap this out for Bluefruit Express and do some Bluetooth color changes and effects.
Oh, I think I know what they meant. Like have a Cutie Pie in there and it has like NeoPixel ring around it, like it's suspended in the middle.
Yeah.
That'd be
really cool. Yeah. I think that feels like my other prop over here,
Which one?
this fire thing.
Oh, yeah.
This medieval fire torch. It kind of has a jewel in the inside of it. This is just prop hour now. There's a jewel in there, and then there's like a gemma on the bottom of this little thing, and there's a fan inside. I think I took the battery out, but yeah, I took the battery out. But yeah, that's fun. And it has like this little...
I mean, it is coming up on Halloween, so
VR.
should do a whole show of just the props.
Right, all the Halloween props together. Okay.
All right, I think that's it for this project.
Excellent.
All the links are there.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's
Ratcatcher.
What Are We Prototyping?
All right. Well, we're kind of still experimenting with CNC milling. So here's what I got for you folks this week. So I've been playing around with a lot of wood, CNC milling wood, and here it just is. This is a CNC milled panel for a Raspberry Pi case. The design is something that is inspired from the Apple MacPro that came out a couple years ago, and it's a 3D spherical pattern that is milled using a ball nose flat end, come on, a ball nose end mill. That's this tool that looks like a drill bit, but it has somewhat like this, a curved thing, which I got, and I'd be like, what can I do with this? So I figured, oh, the best thing to do is to make something that's spherical like that, and that's what prompted me to like try this out. So it's a two-part mill. So I firstly do this part, and oh man, I forgot to I edited a video of it milling, and whatever, I'll share it on my socials. But yeah, the thing here was to figure out what's a good project for my ball nose mill, because that's what people do. So I came up with this thing here. Probably like a couple months after the Mac Pro came out, I wanted to model it up, and I did, and I printed it, but more as like a bit of like just to see how it would print, right? So I did this. So this is 3D printed. You know, sure, it's 3D printed, you could do that, that's great, but I really, really wanted to try out how do I mill this thing, because the real Mac Pro grill is milled out of aluminum. This just kind of looks like aluminum, and forget aluminum, I want wood. So I wanted to see how this would work in wood. And I came up with some interesting techniques in the CAM workspace in Fusion 360 to make this a repeatable pattern, so that I'm not spending an hour calculating the toolpaths for like just do all of it, you know. Especially when you're using the adaptive clearing, which is an operation in the CAM workspace. Like if you just tell the model, if you just tell the operation like, hey, figure it out, it literally couldn't. Maybe 20 minutes I sat there and I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. So I had to do one and then repeat that and then figure out how to make the pattern work and then flip it. I'm using an alignment bracket, and that way it's perfectly lined up. But yeah, it's pretty interesting technique in terms of CAM on coming up with this type of shape. So let me show you the actual case This is like a PC tower inspired case for my Raspberry Pi 4. I have a fan here and another fan here mounted.
You need them.
Yeah, and this is a Stemma OLED display. I don't have it connected right now because I need to give it power, but this would show the IP and the temperature of the CPU. But you have all the access to all the USB, Ethernet, and then this panel goes in here like that, and then you have holes here for the audio, micro HDMI, and USB-C. So this will be a bit of a Pi project. And it also has a 3D printed handle with a print-in-place hinge, because why not? But yeah, this whole piece here is all 3D printed, and I've just been experimenting with different methods of coming up with these grills, or these side panels. It's about 4 millimeters thick. And this was all milled on the Bantam Tools PCB mill.
Oh, man, this took a couple hours to mill out.
Yo, this took 6 hours, son.
So long.
3 hours
all
here,
night long.
3 hours
That's all
here.
I heard.
Yeah. This, however, only takes about 3 hours. Oh no, what happened, camera?
Woo.
There you go. And here is like the original kind of plate. So that would go like here. And that looks cool too, but man, it's really fun to get like a new piece of tool, new piece of equipment. You're like, what can I do with it? And then you end up with like something that looks just gorgeous in a different type of material, completely different method. Like there's nothing complicated here other than like modeling, like figuring out how to model this. There's tutorials out there. Some folks have figured out how to do it. I'll probably do tutorials as well, but it was really cool to take this simple print and then like figure out how to program the tool paths for your machine.
I have to do an aluminum one next, just for heat transfer and all that.
Right.
Would it be a lot more cooler, especially on this side where the fan is.
Right.
And Love the Factory is asking, do all of your CAM efforts live in the native Fusion file?
Absolutely. That's why I really like Fusion 360, because it's
Not only does it set up your CNC toolpaths, but all of the electronic components that Lamar designs is an Eagle, and it's all one.
Just work,
it's one app.
It really is nice, yeah. But yeah, all the CAM stuff is done in Fusion, and that's really great that I don't have to switch between 2 different apps to do my CAM stuff, because when I make a change in the design, it reflects in the toolpaths.
Beyond that, it's the same team programming at Autodesk that is fusing all of the fusioning all of this together.
Fusioning the fusions. Yeah. This is unfinished. This is completely off the bed. I want to add some shellac to it to really pop this out. But this is walnut.
I did see the order
material. I wanted to do some cherry because like apple cherry wood sounds funny, but I ran out of some. Oh no, I still have some cherries. Just I had this piece ready to go, and I just surfaced it and got it to the right length. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to cut this up. And it was super fun. But yeah, I'll release the STLs and stuff once I get some time to
get everything finalized.
Together. Yeah, it's pretty finalized. We just need to.
At least the printed file is good to go.
Yeah. By the way, these are heat set inserts right there.
Big ups shout outs from Tora Bayeto on using the thumb screws as feet.
Oh gosh,
Should 3 print some little Ninja Flex pads.
These are so great, and they're purple.
I know,
they're from. I bought them from Amazon. I think the vendor is called like UXL. The letter U, the letter X, and then Cell.
We should probably.
They tend to do a lot of screws and stuff, but these are so great because they're atomized, something like that. Thumb screws. They're really chunky and they have knurling. They're not cheap. I think it's like
for 10 pieces, it's
$12 for 10 of them.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and it's M3, and they're really good quality.
Suggest these
to be
added
I would love
to the store.
Yeah, because they're like Python purple, right?
Yeah. I added the link in the Discord if you guys want to check them out. You've been using them in a bunch of the heat insert.
You know what's funny?
projects.
Yeah, for sure. You know what's funny is I actually use this as my my media center for my TV in my bedroom.
That's why you need all the fans on there. It's streaming on.
Yeah, I don't need all the fans, but I have access
No,
to
you're
all
gonna
the
need them.
electronics,
I tried
it keeps
doing
it nice and cool.
Yeah, doing like the Braincraft hat projects. I tried not enabling the fan. Bad idea. I had to.
That's funny.
It like killed the SD card.
Yeah, this is one of the Noctua fans too, which is the best type of fan to get because it's super quiet and look at the color scheme. It like matches it perfectly. You get this like peach color.
Andy Calloway is suggesting to use raspberry wood.
Raspberry wood. Huh.
For the Raspberry Pi.
It's like a bush. I have to
Right.
get a bunch of sawdust together and make some MDF. But yeah, very, very fun. I've seen other design. By the way, this is like inspired. I didn't come up with this.
Very popular Raspberry Pi.
But yeah, I did design it all myself, right? I just
Inspiration.
inspired by like these PC tower cases with an OLED display on there. And you know, this really shows the project when it's all done. It'll be like a good promotion for Blinka, which is the Circuit Python libraries working on Python on a Raspberry Pi and other single board computers. So you can just connect up your Stemma boards directly to your Pi with one of these hats, and then you can do I2C over it. And the OLED has the temperature of the CPU and the IP address and some other things that you can display. So that's all fun to do, especially on your Pi case. Lots of good uses for Pi servers still. And yeah, why not make a really fun, fancy case and learn some new skills?
Yeah. The Love Factory is asking about the Bantam tools. Is there a tool change option?
I don't think there is. You could probably make one, but yeah, I just manually change out the tool. There's some new CNCs on the market that like have these built-in tool changes, which is so cool. But I really like my Bantam. I had it here last week. It's just really compact and small. But there's some other things on the market like the Nomad 3 and oh boy, there's some other ones like the Snap Maker, I think is another one. So you can check those out as well. And maybe Bantam will get their PCB mill back in stock at some point. We'll see. But yeah, that's the What Am I Prototyping project. Yes. Any questions? Any comments?
Let's see. Oh, any updates on the 2 or 3 amp version of the Power Boost? If there's any holdup on it, it might be supply, getting the components in. And there's a couple other projects that are being worked on. I think we already mentioned AdaBox. Subscribe to the AdaBox because that's what's being worked on next for Halloween.
Yeah, AdaBox.
Got to look at
I need to start promoting it now. You got 21 days until the next box ships.
Yeah, we got a couple of previews of what the next component is going to be. Holy crap, it looks so cool.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Cool.
Definitely sign up if you are not a subscriber.
Yeah.
Nice little segue into that.
Yeah, right. Thanks. All right, I think that's what we're prototyping.
Yay.
I don't have much of a shop talk. We kind of talked a lot.
Yeah, you pretty much bled into that shop talk.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
Oh, and Yanni on the Discord is posting a
wood?
link to the Raspberry Jam. Is this wood?
Is this real wood?
Looks like it. Common name is Raspberry Jam.
That's crazy.
We're gonna have to order some of this wood just for this.
Is it machinable?
Oh wow! Look, it shows you this nice little overlay of what it looks like.
This looks a lot like.
Look at this. Shellacked, not shellacked.
Oh, that's awesome. This is really cool. This
I
really
think we're gonna have
looks
to order
like
some.
the end grain really looks like this Purple Heart stuff. Here, remember last week? I love how we just get into these weird things. Like, look at doesn't that look like Raspberry Jam? Oh,
Yeah, it
focus
does.
almost. Huh? Come on, focus. Hold that for me right there. There you go. Look at that. That's Purple Heart wood.
It is a lot more
It's pretty
dramatic looking on the camera.
Again, I haven't finished it. I haven't sprayed any
Maybe
lacquer
we shouldn't.
I don't
At
know.
least this one.
I think I will, because I have a bunch
Maybe
of
just
them.
one. Oh, okay, yeah.
But look at
See the
that.
difference.
That's Purple Heart. I heard
so nice.
I need to research this, but I heard somebody say like it could be poisonous to some animals and humans.
Oh.
But like it's readily available on the Inventables website. That's where I get all my wood because they tend to surface it for you already.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're a big brand and I trust them because like I've already spent money with them. So and they ship pretty early. But yeah, there's your Raspberry Jam right there. It's Purple Heart. But hey, this looks great too.
should get it.
Because the grain just reminds me of those like little holes and stuff like that. Like that's what reminds me of this end grain here. Here's a piece of purple right now. Oh, yeah, here's the purple. Look how purpley it is. It's not colored. It really is purpley like that.
Yeah, at first I thought it was
funny.
like
They should have
stained.
called this raspberry. Come on.
Huh?
Sorry, I forgot to turn the focus off. Yeah. Maybe I'll use this material to make one of these. What do you think? It's like right on the thing right there.
And then a tip from Dwester saying that the red screws are $4 cheaper and fit a little bit more to the pie theme.
The what screws?
The thumb screws, the red
there are
color.
some red ones, yeah. I got purple because Python.
Blinka, yeah.
Blinka. Our show has a lot of purple. But yeah, get the red ones. I'm
Yeah,
glad
red
y'all
looks
are
really-
looking at that. I love
Red
thumb
looks really good
screws.
too.
Like I was gonna put thumb screws here too, but I think these socket ones like just look better because like I got a couple of these right in different colors. I didn't get red though. All right, well that is shop talk. We talked in the shop.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's community makes.
Oh god, we have so many community makes this week. So let me cue up my my get up here. I mean, I have the communicator, so you might as well put this on here. All right, so this week we 3D printed a kit, the visor from Star Trek Next Generation. This is a really awesome kit that you can 3D print.
Request from Star Trek fan PT.
Yeah, super cool method to print this out. The grid is printed flat and then it curves.
I should have
It's in the
saved
time
one.
lapse. We can take this apart, I guess, if you want. We have another one right there that you can take apart.
Oh.
And it's by Michael Jones, the designer. Michael Jones
Take it
is
apart on
is the
camera.
fellow's name who posted it up on Thingiverse. Very, very cool kit. That's like, it's one of the easier kits to print. This is me wearing it, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of these models go up, but it's always been, all completely assembled. So it's printing these on the Z. And what you were saying before, pop these out. I like how these are printed. Oh, I think these are
you glued
press
it?
fit. No, it's just that the press fit for this is like super tough.
I got you, sir.
You
It's
got another
called the Spudger tool. It's one of our favorite tools. We love it so much that we stock it in the store. Just search for Spudger.
I was gonna say post a link.
Oh yeah, let me do that.
Sponsored by? I don't think it's gonna
Sponsored by? What do you mean? So today's
I think I can
show
get
is
it
brought
out.
to you by today's tool. Is Spudger.
I go to the red. Oh, is it there? Am I still there? Yeah. I'm just gonna rip it out like that.
Oh, that's cool.
But
yeah.
yeah, just the thinness of the
Regular
what that's
PLA,
attached.
non-Ninja Flex. Because it's so thin, you can make these type of geometries and shapes with PLA, and you can curve it out. It's got a bit of a non-linear shape here, like it tends to curve a little bit, just I think to help.
Have it go inside the slot inside here.
The slot, yeah. There's a little groove in there, a little channel, and this is printed in that lovely goldish PLA, no finishing at all, right? There's some glitter. There's some flakes of glitter integrated into the filament, so you get that nice shine. And none of this was finished.
Yeah, so it just prints flat like that.
Yeah, as we showed you in the time lapse. So let me pull up Michael Jones's. Is it Michael Jones? I think it's Michael Jones. Yeah, Michael Jones. Maybe it's a pseudonym or something. But here, by the way, here's the Spudger tool. It's a great little prying tool, double-sided prying tool. All right, but let's go to the Thingiverse page. Here is unmatrixed red is the handle. Michael Jones' handle, but look at these photos of the.
And there's a
It's
couple
way more
different versions of the visor piece there. You can see there's 3 different ones. You can choose your design.
Cool, different grills, if you will.
And they all look super cool.
Yeah, and they all print without any supports, I think.
No supports.
Oh,
this is
no.
all flat.
Yeah, that's great.
There was like another part if you go to the all pieces there that I didn't print that part. I don't know if it's
the
needed.
top and the bottom
Yeah,
parts?
I don't think it's needed. Maybe.
I'll be honest. I don't really. I'm not like a huge Star Trek fan. I appreciate the theme and everything, but don't hate me.
And then DeWester's suggesting that adding magnets to your skull, because I'm guessing that's how these attach to George LaForge is.
To my skull, huh?
Yeah.
No, here's how I'm wearing it.
So we're using these big rubber bands.
Yeah, and you just tied them off to these
Yep,
little,
tied them off,
these
and
little
then
bumper bits. So
the
it works
little,
really well. And because my hair is black, you can't even see it because it kind of bleeds into it. But yeah,
So
really
these
nice.
have like some sort of coating on it too, so it's not like ripping at your hair or your
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah. So you think this is cool? All right. Well, you haven't seen nothing yet, because we're kicking it off with a little remix of this. I think it's a
This
remix.
looks so cool.
Maybe
This
it's
is from
not a remix.
Stuart Riggs. He printed one up and added LEDs with a cutie pie in it.
Yeah. Again, Stuart Riggs. You come up with the best remixes.
This is so freaking cool.
This is great. You ready for it, folks? I don't think folks are ready. Okay, brace yourself. Like, oh my god, that's so freaking dope. Look how well it's diffused as
Right?
well. Like the grill really makes it diffused. Now, Stuart, I have questions. Of course I do. Can you still see out of it? Like,
think
does it blind you a
so.
little bit? And it's got
It
different
looks like it's
effects.
facing outwards, so like with the Daft Punk helmet, made it face outwards so you can see through it.
Yeah. And the buttons on the side, such a fine,
Right.
like, great. You have different modes. You can put integrated buttons. So it's got a QT pie in it. I'm not sure if it's the RP40 or the same D one. It doesn't matter. But yeah, Stuart did an awesome job. As I said in the tweet, like, please submit this to the Hackaday IO contest. So you
this
can
is
get
definitely
some,
qualifies.
some exposure and maybe potentially win.
Yeah, some more
so you
need
can
for
get
stuff.
some more
Or
props.
DigiKey stuff
Yeah.
too.
Also, I'm curious which. There's just hundreds of different styles and layouts of NeoPixel strips. I'd love to know which one is this
maybe
one.
the
Is it
skinny
the one
one.
that's? Is it the ones that are facing out, or is it just your normal NeoPixels? I
And we
it's the
do
ones that are
have
facing
those
out.
super skinny ones too. The
Right,
Ultra.
the mini skinnies. I wonder if those are being
Yeah.
used. But in any manner, like Stuart figured it out, and it's just an amazing effect. I've never seen
Right.
the visor be lit up like that. It's like a first I've ever seen. So huge shout out to you, sir, to
so
Stuart
awesome.
and Mike Jones for putting it together. Yeah.
I think it's the same model.
This is what's awesome about the open source.
This is why we
community.
release,
Like, it's so
this is
great.
why we release all the designs, all the code, because, you can always add more stuff on top of it that makes it even cooler than it was before. So,
Yeah. Yep.
so awesome.
It's very cool. All right, we got more community makes, so let's step through them all before.
And
we have like 3 minutes.
in the Discord, discord.gg/Adafruit, Stuart's in there, and he is listing out. It's the small NeoPixels and the cutie pie with a push button and an on and off button.
Yeah, he had to reduce the brightness. Of course, he did.
Yeah, those are so
Excellent.
bright. But
Yeah,
even
the
like
small
at the
NeoPixels.
lowest brightness, it's still pretty
Still
bright.
bright as shit, yeah, it just picks it up great on the camera too. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
which is excellent. All right, we're ready for the next one. Yeah, it always looked like Cyclops. Yeah, the next one. Pretty close, but not quite. All right, let's look at the next one. This is one of the first makes, I think, of this. Well, maybe not the first make. This is a make of the.
Darksaber.
Come on, the Darksaber from The Mandalorian. This is a really excellent remix because Thingiverse user Ectotainment added more buttons and functionality to it. So if you can see the hilt,
so cool.
you can see the hilt here has a bigger on-off switch and these 2 left and right buttons that
Guessing
changes
that's
the
like,
modes.
Yeah, the mode.
Yeah, so here it is all lit up as a rainbow. Looks really nice. And here's the hilt modified. Oh, that looks so good. With all the, I don't know, are those like 3D
Like
printed
the
buttons?
embosses
I don't
around
know.
it.
It looks
So
great.
cool.
So if you are looking to make a lightsaber, or better yet, a dark saber, this is one of my favorite lightsaber builds because the blade is completely 3D printed and it has like this integrated channel for the NeoPixel strips. In the description, he says, really nice kit. I added a battery switch and 2 buttons to change the color mode for custom code. Parts print great with no supports and they fit together nicely. The only issue I had was printing the black blade covers, which didn't stick to my bed. I wish the handle secured to the coupler a little bit more firmly. I added some hot glue here. Thanks. Printed on a CR10 Cruelty. Wonderful, wonderful. So really, really psyched about that because that was one heck of a project to build. Excellent. Let's keep moving. Next up, I hope you like Lego compatible Stemma plates. This is a remix of the Lego base plates for the Stemma boards. Thingiverse user here, Cord-E-La, came up with one for the new SCD40/SCD30. This is that air CO2 air quality sensor from Sensorion. This is a brand new board that came out, and that's why this fellow wanted to make it so that it's compatible with some Lego parts. You can stick this base plate It has these mounting holes and pegs, no screws necessary, just a little bit of glue to tie these two things together. And you can have some Lego compatible boards that work with your Lego compatible builds. So shout out to Cordila. I'll think of hers. All right. We have more makes. Come on, keep going. All right, we have another one here from I2 and this is a little bracket for holding the Raspberry Pi Octoprint rig. So if you have an Octopi set up and you want to have a touchscreen built into the Pi itself, you can build one of these and come up with all sorts of different bracket solutions. This is a very popular project. It's been out for a minute and lots of folks have made fun remixes to fit their setups. That's what I like to see. All right, from there we have two more makes here. Well, this one here, we're coming back onto the MacroPad. Luciana, thank you for posting your make of the print and place stand. There was a little thing here, my hinges were too loose, probably because I printed it in the low res. To tighten things up, I added some E6000, so there you go. And it has some rubber bumpers on the bottom there too. It looks great in red. Excellent. Yeah, it's always tough to get print and place things. I tend to make them a little bit loose because I don't want it to fuse, but hey, glue's good too. Here is a MacroPad case build. This is a JP's design. JP designed this one, and Thingiverse user Nascent Maker posted their make of it up. Look at these really nice
smoky keys look awesome.
These keys, they look great. And this is a really excellent design by John Park. And it has like these really nice edges and stuff like that. And the filament, always great, glitter filament. And again, printed on acrylic tee, Ender 3. Like everybody's got these Enders, which is great.
Hey man, it's a good price.
It is.
Good quality.
I think that's everything, yeah. Excellent, well thank you everybody for posting your makes. And
yeah, quick question from the Low Factory. Subtract step files from a project to get snap fit to NeoPixels. Is that easy?
Yeah, I suppose you could. Like if you were to open the Fusion 360 thing, you can always right-click on any of the components and say export as a step. Yeah.
And then a suggestion from Torabito on the Twitch saying to try out some epoxy for the keycaps.
Instead of resin?
Darker. Yeah, resin. Epoxy resin.
Yes. We were told to stay away from that because Lamar had a tough time and she really likes the UV
I'm guessing for like a
resin.
protection. Oh, okay.
The UV resin because it cures without having a two-part thing.
I think they mean like to add some like protection over it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
We'll give it a nice
the
little
wood
glossy.
keycaps?
Yeah, the wooden keycaps.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I'm getting some shellac on order and I want to spray it because I don't like painting. I'm going to try to spray it. Is it easier if the NeoPixels are native Fusion file? Yeah, that's a good thing. It's kind of difficult to model up the NeoPixels because first of all, there's just so many variants of it.
Yeah.
I might have a tutorial on like coming up with your own parametric strip thing. Like sometimes you want to do that, most times you don't. As long as you have like a channel, you just kind of measure it with your calipers, like for the...
That's what I do. I just get the height, the clearance for
the thickness of the LED, and that's going to change.
And they're all different, depending on which strip you're using. There's so many variants.
Right. So like when I'm making the channel for the Darksaber, I had to measure and I had to stick to that style of strips. I'm like, okay, this is mini skinny, so I need to keep it within this within this width diameter and the thickness diameter of the channel. So yeah, and you kind of want to have a little bit of a gap there so that you have a little bit of wiggle room. Otherwise, like it'll just not work sometimes, right? So yeah, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes. All right, we got to get out of here and close the show, but thank you everybody for coming in and hanging out with us. Don't forget, tonight is Show and Tell and Ask an Engineer. Show and Tell starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and shortly after that, it's Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil.
I know, mine's taken apart.
It looks kind of weird like that, huh? Yeah, so we got to beam out of here.
And then real quick, Rosin is saying another suggestion for the cooking oil, or
Use some cooking oil.
Butcher block oil.
Butcher block oil, yeah, that's a good one too.
I want some more suggestions.
Try out that maker finish from the Matter Maker folks. They have like a wood-based. There's some linseed. I think linseed oil is a good one. Yeah.
You got enough caps, you should try one different.
For everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Cool. All right, well, we're going to see you tonight. Thanks, Jimi Hendrickson. Yeah, we'll see you tonight on another show and tell. Don't forget, if you want to get, if you want to participate into it, all you got to do is go to the Discord. Yeah, get on the Discord. The invite link for that is discord.gg/Adafruit. You can go there, and then in the live broadcast chat room, PT Phil, Mr. Lady Ada, he will post in the StreamYard link. You click on that link, and open that in a new tab, and make sure your webcam and microphone are all ready to go, and you want to mute until you are called upon, and that's how you get invited. You just click on a link. Yeah.
All right, it's going to do it for us. Full week of shows.
Yep.
I got John Park's workshop
Tomorrow.
I got Deep Dive with Scott.
Yep, every Friday at 2 p.m.
And then Desk of Lady Ada.
Saturdays and Sundays at Maker Hacker time, sometimes 8, sometimes 9, sometimes 10.
Yep.
She's all over the place.
And then we'll start the week off with JP's Private Pick of the Week. Don't
Every
forget
Tuesday.
to tune in for, I believe it's 50% off on some of the picks for the week. So definitely tune in every single week for that.
That's right.
That's going to do it for us.
I think that's it.
You want
all right,
3D
folks.
Hangouts?
Wait, oh yeah, 3D Hangouts happens every Wednesday at whatever time, 11 a.m. Thanks, folks.
See you
Don't
later
forget.
tonight. Make a great day.
Yay, we did it. All right, bye, folks. See you tonight.